Welcome, gents. People tend to misunderstand Sigma males because they don't follow the same playbook that most of us use to make sense of others. They're not interested in fitting into the typical mold society has for personality types, and that throws people off. We live in a world that values loud leadership, constant social interaction, and clear emotional expressions. But Sigma males quietly reject all of that. They move through life on their own terms, without seeking approval or validation. This leaves others confused, frustrated, or even suspicious simply because they can't categorize them. They're hard to read, and that discomforts people who need things to be neatly defined. But the truth is, Sigma males aren't trying to be understood, which is exactly why so many people struggle to do so. We are starting with number 12. They don't wear their power on their sleeve. In a world where power is often about being seen and heard, Sigma males operate differently. Society tends to value leaders who are loud, assertive, and always in the spotlight, people who visibly claim their authority. These are the types of individuals who get attention and recognition because they fit the classic mold of what power is supposed to look like. But Sigma males don't play that game. They don't feel the need to flaunt their power or forcefully command attention. This can be confusing to others who are trained to acknowledge power only when it's displayed overtly. People expect leaders to show off their status, to take charge visibly, and to make sure everyone knows who's in control. When a Sigma male steps back and doesn't participate in this traditional display, it leaves people unsure of how to interpret him. His quiet confidence and ability to lead without putting himself on a pedestal often go unnoticed by those who are used to power being loud and in your face. Sigma males lead in a subtle way. They don't need to push their authority on others, yet it's there in the background, guiding decisions and actions without fanfare. This approach to power, one that doesn't rely on public validation, throws people off because it doesn't match what they're used to. For a Sigma male, real power isn't about proving anything to others. It's about knowing it within himself. Number 11. They ignore you, but they notice everything. One of the most common misconceptions about Sigma males is that they seem uninterested or detached in social situations. When they appear quiet or absent, people often jump to conclusions, thinking they don't care or aren't paying attention. However, the reality is quite different. Sigma males are incredibly observant and attuned to their surroundings. They notice the little things, body language, subtle shifts in mood, and even the unsaid dynamics between people. While they may not engage in the usual back and forth of conversation, they are silently taking everything in. Their ability to read the room can be disconcerting for those who are used to more expressive interactions. People often expect others to be vocal and overtly engaged. But Sigma males operate on a different wavelength. They prefer to assess the situation before jumping in, which can make their silence feel like indifference. This keen observation isn't just about gathering information, it's also about understanding the emotional landscape around them. Sigma males are not only aware of what's happening, but are often processing it deeply. Yet because they don't always share their thoughts or feelings in real time, others misinterpret their quietness as a lack of involvement or concern. In truth, they're engaged in a way that's less about noise and more about insight, quietly absorbing what's happening around them while others might miss the finer details. Number 10. Rejection of groupthink, Sigma. Males are known for their ability to resist groupthink and popular opinion, which can lead others to label them as rebels or contrarians. However, this perception is often misleading. Their resistance to conforming isn't about being contrary for the sake of it. It stems from a deeply ingrained sense of independence and a desire for thoughtful decision-making. In a world that often pushes individuals to conform to the majority opinion, Sigma males stand apart. They are more likely to question the status quo, scrutinizing ideas and beliefs instead of accepting them at face value. This critical thinking process allows them to forge their own paths, guided by their values and insights rather than being swayed by external pressures. While some may see their reluctance to go along with the crowd as a form of rebellion, it's more about their commitment to authenticity and truth. They prefer to evaluate situations and ideas on their own merits rather than simply aligning with what everyone else thinks. This independent approach can create friction, especially in environments that prioritize consensus over individuality. Ultimately, Sigma males embody a quiet strength in their willingness to stand alone. Their rejection of groupthink is not an act of defiance, but a testament to their thoughtful nature. By prioritizing independent thought and genuine conviction, they challenge societal norms and invite deeper discussions, encouraging others to think critically and question the mainstream narrative. Number 9. They don't fit standard labels. Sigma males don't fit into the typical personality boxes people are used to. Most of us rely on labels like introvert, extrovert, alpha, or beta to quickly sum up who someone is and how they operate. It makes things easier to understand and allows us to predict behavior. But Sigma males don't play by these rules, and that throws everyone off. They have a mix of traits that don't make sense when you try to place them into one category. They can be fiercely independent, much like introverts who prefer their own company, but they also have the confidence and assertiveness often seen in alphas. It's a confusing blend. What makes it harder is that Sigma males don't care to explain themselves or clarify their position. They aren't out to prove anything or fit into any preconceived role. This leaves people scrambling to figure them out, and the harder they try, the more Sigma males seem like a contradiction. They operate on their own terms, outside the standard definitions society uses to box people in. This creates discomfort for those who rely on labels to navigate relationships or social dynamics, but it's also why Sigma males are so misunderstood. They don't fit neatly into a category, and for many, that's a puzzle they just can't solve. Thank you for being a valued subscriber. Your ongoing support is greatly appreciated and motivates us to continue creating meaningful content. We truly value your engagement. Number 8. They see through facades. Sigma males have a sharp ability to see through the masks people wear. They're not easily fooled by the polished images or false fronts that many put up in social situations, while most people tend to tolerate a certain level of pretense. Whether it's pretending to be more confident than they are, playing nice for the sake of appearances, or hiding insecurities, Sigma males cut right through it. They can sense when someone isn't being genuine, and they don't engage with the facade. This makes some people uncomfortable because, in a way, the Sigma male isn't following the usual rules of social interaction. Most of us understand that there's a bit of give and take in social settings. We allow people to hide behind their personas because it's easier than calling them out. But Sigma males aren't interested in playing along with this unspoken agreement. They prefer authenticity, and they're quick to spot when someone is putting on a show. What's more, they won't always let others know they've seen through the act, but their mere presence, knowing they can't be easily fooled, can make people defensive. It's unsettling to interact with someone who can see the parts of yourself you're trying to hide, especially when they don't feel the need to call it out. Sigma males simply move through the world with a kind of X-ray vision for pretense, and this ability to read between the lines often leaves others unsure of how to react. Number 7. Their body language is misleading. Sigma males often give off body language that confuses people. They don't show their emotions in the usual, predictable ways that most of us are used to. When they're deep in thought, focused, or even concerned, their facial expressions or posture might not reflect it. They can seem calm, aloof, or indifferent when in reality they're carefully processing something or feeling deeply about a situation. This throws people off because most of us rely on body language to understand how someone is feeling. We expect obvious signs, smiling when happy, frowning when upset, or tensing up when stressed. But Sigma males tend to keep their emotions below the surface, not out of coldness, but because they're internalizing their reactions. They don't feel the need to project what they're feeling outwardly. As a result, people often misread them, assuming they don't care or that they're emotionally distant. This disconnect between how they feel and how they appear can lead others to think Sigma males are unapproachable or cold-hearted. But that's not the case. It's just that their emotional world isn't on display for everyone to see. They're more private about what's going on inside, which leads to misunderstandings from those who are used to reading people through their body language. The truth is, Sigma males are often more engaged than they appear, but they express it in ways that don't fit the norm. Number 6. They don't have a desire for leadership, but end up leading anyway. Sigma males are an enigma when it comes to leadership. In a world where people are constantly striving for titles, power, and recognition, the Sigma male stands apart by not caring about any of that. He doesn't have a strong desire to lead, and he's not interested in climbing the social or professional ladder. This indifference can be confusing to those around him, who are used to seeing leadership as something to chase after. Ironically, it's this very lack of interest in traditional leadership roles that often makes Sigma males natural leaders. They don't push themselves into positions of power, but others are drawn to their quiet confidence, independence, and ability to think for themselves. People end up following them not because they demand it, but because they inspire trust and respect through their actions. Their leadership style is subtle but effective, often grounded in logic and calm decision-making rather than loud authority. For people conditioned to equate leadership with ambition and outward dominance, this can be perplexing. How can someone who doesn't seek power end up with so much influence? Sigma males lead by example, not by trying to control others or climb the hierarchy. This makes them a different kind of leader, one who doesn't need a title to make an impact. It's their very detachment from traditional leadership roles that makes them so effective, and that paradox can be hard for people to understand. Number 5. Misguided macho. Mystique. The Sigma male is frequently cast in the role of the brooding, stoic figure, the archetype of rugged masculinity that society often glorifies. This portrayal feeds into the misguided macho mystique that suggests real men don't express their feelings, don't show vulnerability, and are always in control. As a result, many people overlook the richness of emotional depth and complexity that Sigma males possess. They might think that being emotionally reserved equates to being emotionally deficient, missing the point entirely. While Sigma males may not flaunt their emotions, that doesn't mean they lack them. In fact, their emotional landscape can be profound, filled with reflections, insights, and experiences that shape their worldview. The tendency to bottle up feelings or present a tough exterior can lead others to misconstrue their behavior as cold or uncaring. Yet, Sigma males often have a rich inner life that deserves recognition. This one-dimensional portrayal perpetuates harmful stereotypes about masculinity, suggesting that emotional expression is a sign of weakness rather than strength. Vulnerability is not a flaw, it's a facet of being human. Sigma males can be both independent and emotionally aware, capable of introspection, while still navigating the world on their own terms. Recognizing this complexity is crucial in breaking down outdated notions of masculinity, allowing for a fuller understanding of what it means to be a Sigma male, one that includes emotional richness rather than just stoic strength. Number 4. Unjust stereotypes. People often mistakenly label Sigma males as indifferent or aloof, simply because they don't thrive in large group settings. This stereotype overlooks the fact that their social preferences stem from a desire for deeper, more meaningful connections, rather than a lack of interest in others. While Sigma males may not engage in the typical small talk or participate in crowded social events, that doesn't mean they are emotionally detached or uninterested in relationships. In reality, Sigma males often prefer quality over quantity when it comes to their social interactions. They value genuine conversations and authentic connections, seeking to understand people on a deeper level rather than just skimming the surface. This preference can lead them to shy away from group dynamics, where conversations often lack depth and can feel more like performative exchanges than true communication. By focusing on intimate relationships, Sigma males can forge bonds that are not only significant, but also enriching. They thrive in one-on-one interactions or small gatherings where they can connect authentically without the noise and distraction of larger crowds. This inclination may be misunderstood by those who interpret their reserved nature as coldness or disinterest, but it's really a reflection of their commitment to meaningful connections. In a world that often equates sociability with value, It's essential to recognize that Sigma males may be quietly building connections that matter more than any superficial interaction. Their capacity for deep relationships reveals a complexity that challenges unjust stereotypes and invites a more nuanced understanding of their social world. Number 3, their silence is interpreted as disinterest. When Sigma males stay quiet during a conversation, it's easy for people to misread their silence as a lack of interest or boredom. In many social situations, silence is often associated with disengagement or indifference. But for Sigma males, silence isn't about tuning out, it's about tuning in. Sigma males are deep listeners. Rather than jumping into the conversation with quick responses or filler talk, they prefer to fully absorb what's being said. They process information carefully and think critically about their input before speaking. This approach ensures that when they do contribute, it's something meaningful or insightful, not just noise. Unfortunately, many people are used to constant chatter and see silence as a gap that needs to be filled. They might feel uncomfortable or assume the Sigma male isn't paying attention, but in reality they're likely more engaged than most. Sigma males simply value quality over quantity when it comes to communication. They don't feel the need to dominate a conversation or say something just for the sake of speaking. Instead, they choose their words thoughtfully, preferring to offer valuable insights rather than shallow comments. This deliberate communication style can be misunderstood, but it's a reflection of their deeper, more reflective nature, not a sign of disinterest. They speak when it matters, not because they have to. Number 2, their disregard for social hierarchies creates confusion. Sigma males have a unique approach to social dynamics that often confuses people, especially those who are used to operating within structured hierarchies. In most social settings, people tend to follow certain unwritten rules about status and power, treating those at the top with more respect and those at the bottom with less. Sigma males, however, don't subscribe to this way of thinking. They don't care who holds the title of boss, leader, or influencer. What matters to them is the person, not their rank. This disregard for traditional power structures can throw others off, especially those who expect deference based on their position. Sigma males will speak to a CEO the same way they would speak to an entry-level employee, not out of disrespect, but because they genuinely see everyone on the same level. This behavior can create confusion, as many people are conditioned to follow power dynamics closely. Some may interpret the Sigma male's actions as disrespectful or rebellious, assuming he's deliberately ignoring the rules. But the truth is, Sigma males just don't believe in giving undue importance to someone based on titles or rank. They value authenticity and character above all else, and treat everyone with the same level of respect, regardless of where they stand in the hierarchy. This approach can be refreshing to those who appreciate it, but baffling to those who rely on status to define relationships. Number 1, the quiet confidence is misread as arrogance. Sigma males carry themselves with a quiet confidence that can easily be misunderstood. Unlike many people who need to announce their achievements or seek praise, Sigma males don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone. They know their worth and don't rely on external validation to feel good about themselves. This kind of self-assurance, however, can be misinterpreted by others as arrogance. Because they don't go out of their way to explain themselves or flaunt their abilities, people might assume they think they're superior or look down on others. In reality, Sigma males simply don't need to seek approval from others to know they're on the right path. They're not trying to be aloof or distant. They just don't engage in the typical back and forth of needing constant affirmation. This misunderstanding often happens because society is used to more outgoing, assertive displays of confidence. When someone is confident without the loudness, it throws people off. They might perceive the calm and collected demeanor of a Sigma male as a sign that he's dismissive or uninterested in those around him. But the truth is, this reserved nature stems from a deep sense of security, not from feeling superior. Sigma males know that real confidence doesn't have to be loud. It's about inner strength and self-reliance, not how others perceive them. In summary, people often mistakenly label Sigma males as indifferent or aloof, simply because they don't thrive in large group settings. This stereotype overlooks the fact that their social preferences stem from a desire for deeper, more meaningful connections rather than a lack of interest in others. While Sigma males may not engage in the typical small talk or participate in crowded social events, that doesn't mean they are emotionally detached or uninterested in relationships. In reality, Sigma males often prefer quality over quantity when it comes to their social interactions. They value genuine conversations and authentic connections, seeking to understand people on a deeper level rather than just skimming the surface. This preference can lead them to shy away from group dynamics, where conversations often lack depth and can feel more like performative exchanges than true communication. By focusing on intimate relationships, Sigma males can forge bonds that are not only significant but also enriching. They thrive in one-on-one interactions or small gatherings where they can connect authentically without the noise and distraction of larger crowds. This inclination may be misunderstood by those who interpret their reserved nature as coldness or disinterest, but it's really a reflection of their commitment to meaningful connections. In a world that often equates sociability with value, it's essential to recognize that Sigma males may be quietly building connections that matter more than any superficial interaction. Their capacity for deep relationships reveals a complexity that challenges unjust stereotypes and invites a more nuanced understanding of their social world. Thanks for tuning in, gents. Bye for now and see you in the next video. Take care and God bless.